Okay, guys, good afternoon. Now, we will start the training. Okay, and as you can see, firstly, warmly welcome to the 瑞杰 TTT training. And I don't know if you know what's the meaning of TTT. Do you know? Have you ever heard what's TTT? You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
It's training for trainer.
Yeah, it's training for a trainer. We call it training to the trainer, right? So it's called TTT, or sometimes we call it trainer to train, right? And from the name, I think you can recognize that it's a course that help the instructors, help the trainers to master some training skills. And the reason why we could have have this training is that, of course, in the as I think maybe you are preparing, or even you have already participated in the instructor certification, right? In the instructor certification, except the technical, there is another part which is very important. We should evaluate your training skills and even the tools you use during the training, right? So in this after this training, I hope it can maybe help you prepare this part. Okay, and firstly, please allow me to make an introduction of myself. You can call me Alex. Okay, you can call me Alex, and you can also see my email is showing here. And if, of course, if you have any questions, you can send me email or directly ask me by Lark. Okay, and I have been a trainer, or I have been a instructor for about over 5 years, and I'm mainly focused on the RS and the security, routing and switching and security. So as you can see, I'm a technical instructor. So I'm just sharing my experience, which I had over 5 years with you. So and I hope it can help you. And the training will last for today will last for 2 hours from 3 p.m. right to 5 p.m. And we will introduce the definition of trainer. It means that we should know. We would introduce what's the meaning of trainer and what what the trainer should do, right? What the trainer should do. Except that we will see the characteristics of adult learning. Of course, nowadays when we deliver training, the trainees are adults, right? For example, the customers, for example, some engineers, right? Internal engineers. So only when we understand or when we know the characteristics of adult learning, we can maybe make our courses, make our lectures more easier for them to understand, to master. Okay, and except that, in this course, we're going to introduce preparations before class. So what we should do, what we should prepare before the training. Okay, and firstly, here is a questionnaire. Of course, I have made an instruction of myself, introduction of myself, but actually for you, I know less. So maybe you can scan this code and fill in the answers. Okay, you can use Lark to scan it. Okay, and you will have maybe 5 minutes, 5 minutes to do that. Okay, okay, here I have received some feedbacks. If you didn't finish it, please hurry up. Okay, thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Emily. Okay, from your feedback, I found that actually each of you have, for the first question, how many training sessions have you organized before, right? And I find actually you are all very experienced, right? Because all of you have organized the training for even more than five times, right? Okay, and the next question, which form of training? Let's see it. Okay, let's see it together. Which form of training do you use most? And here we find that most of you are holding maybe online trainings, and some of you are holding maybe, or more of the trainings are offline, right? The reason why I want to ask this question is that the online training is totally different from the offline one, right? And in the following content, I will also introduce the difference between them, and maybe some points we should pay attention during the online training or the offline training. And next is a multiple choice. What are the most difficult parts for you in the training? And from the results, we can find that okay, using collect requirements is difficult. Develop materials is difficult, right? But for the making summaries and the delivery training is not that difficult. And I find answering questions is easy for you, right? Of course, no one chooses it. Okay, so from this result, I can find you are maybe very good at the technical points, right? You can answer all the questions or even most of the questions students ask. Okay, last one. What would you do if nobody answered your questions in your training? And you can see, okay, someone says, skip it, just skip it. Okay, and another answer is answer it by yourself, right? Maybe. So actually, if you answer it by yourself, it's a kind of solution, right? Of course, if no reply, you can answer it by yourself. It's a kind of method. But if you just directly skip it, it's not a good solution from my point of view. Okay, maybe from this questionnaire, I have got more information from you. Okay, and then next is about the training schedule. Of course, today is the first time of the training, and we are holding an online training, online conference, right? And we will share some. We will use PowerPoint to share some information with you. And from this list, you can see the whole training or the whole course reach TTT training is divided into multiple chapters. For example, the definition of trainer, preparations before training, right? These two parts is what we gonna introduce today, and there will be a routine updating in the coming months. Okay, and we're gonna maybe share how to warm up the class, how to attract students' attention, how to control the time of lecture, maybe how to organize a group discussion, how to deal with unexpected problems, and how to make a summary. Okay, and here are some questions, and of course we will give you the answer. Of course, from my point of view, in this way, it can help you. What you can master is the methods, right, to solve your problems. And of course, except what you can find here, if you have any other maybe problems or questions about the training, you can maybe tell me in the chat box, or you can maybe tell me by Lark. Okay, I will try to maybe add it into the course. Okay, and for these chapters, we will update it. Okay, we will update it in the coming months. After seeing the training schedule, next is a convention. Please try to mute your phone, devote yourself to the training. And if you have any questions during the training, please leave a message in the chat box. And once I see it, I will help you solve it. Or you can directly maybe unmute your mic and we can maybe discuss it. And after the training, I will share the record with you. Okay, so if you miss some parts, don't be worried about it. Okay, this is about just the introduction of the course, and then let's start. Let's start the TTT training, and let's see the forward first. The training methods or the training skills vary in their approach, right? And if we during the training, without this kind of training methods, training skills, we can transfer some information to the students or to the trainees, right? But by using the training methods, training skills, it can help us maybe convey more information to the trainees, and it can help us maybe attract their attentions. So it's very important for us. And except that, I think most of you are technical engineers, right? And for the technical engineers, they are maybe before they become an instructor, they are more focusing on maybe the configuration of devices, the implementation, right? Or the maybe maintenance of the device, right? While it's very difficult for them to maybe turn the role from an engineer to an instructor. And after this training, I hope we can help you to maybe turn the role from an engineer to an instructor, right? And in this course, we will present the first part is the characteristics of adult learners, which can help you know more about your trainees, right? And the preparations before class. So, for example, what you should do before the class, what you should prepare. Okay, this is about the overview. And after finishing this part, I hope you will be able to know the working process of trainers, know the difference between a trainer and maybe an engineer, know the characteristics of adult learners, be familiar with the preparations before class, right? And first, let's start the first part, the definition of trainer. And the definition of trainer here, actually it means that, for example, you should know, or I'm wondering that if you know as a trainer, what you should do. For example, what you should do as a trainer, and except that the difference between an engineer and a trainer. Okay, here I will, since we don't have many trainees participants in this conference, so I think 10 minutes is too long, so 5 minutes, okay? Two questions. So what we should do as a trainer? This is the first question. And the second is that what's the difference between an engineer and a trainer? Okay, you can think about it by yourselves. I will leave you about 5 minutes. And if you got any ideas, you can share in the chat box. Okay, and maybe after 5 minutes, I will invite some of you to share with us. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, maybe time is up. So have you got any ideas about the questions I have just asked? First question, let me repeat. First question is that as a trainer, what we should do. Okay, and the second is that what's the difference between an engineer and a trainer? Okay, have you got any ideas? Since I can find no feedback in the chat box, so I will maybe invite Kevin. Hello, Kevin. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay, have you got any ideas about the question I have just asked?
Um, yeah. Let me say something.
Okay.
First question is about the rule of the channel, right?
Yeah.
So at the channel, we have to prepare the document, the good document, the good material to deliver the knowledge to the participant, to the audience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and and uh, s- and and find the way to deliver the knowledge to the audience. The second question is about the difference between the trainer and engineer. The
Yeah.
trainer he or she may be good in both of the technical skill and the the delivery the knowledge skill to the participant. But engineer they may good in the technical, but uh, maybe cannot teaching other. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Kevin. And I well, what you said is that first day as a trainer, maybe we should develop some materials, right? Develop some materials, and the difference between the engineer and the trainer is that both of them are good at maybe technical, right? But both of them have very good technical skills. But the except that the trainer needs to maybe know the skills how to teach the trainees, right? Okay, and how about others? Have you got any ideas? Okay, if you don't have any idea about this question, maybe we can see it together. Okay, firstly, let's see what, as a trainer, what we should do. Okay, this model is called the ADDIE. You can see A means analyze. Okay, I've received another feedback in the chat box, and let's see it together. Okay, I guess the main difference between trainer and engineer is the goals. If engineer's main point is to understand well and know how to do something, have skills, while trainers main goal is to make sure that trainees are getting well with the topic. Yes, I think it's very good. The difference between them, right, is very good. And then let's go about the ADDIE. Let's see what's the meaning of it. A means analyze. Course before the training, as what Kevin just said, before the training we should develop the materials, right? And actually before we develop the materials, what we should do is to understand the requirements of the trainees, what they need, right? So first is analyze. For example, object analyze, evaluation of training requirements, and task analyze. Right? So we can get the real requirement of the trainees, what they want. Right? And the next D means design, the outline and the goal of the training. And of course, about the outline and the goal, we should evaluate it if it can satisfy the requirements which we got from analyze. And after that, after we got the outline and the goal, next is a development, right? Development, trial, and modification. So we should develop the materials, develop the maybe some tools if we need during the training. Okay, and after the training, after we have finished the developing of the materials, we should modify trial, and the modification means we should ensure there's no fault inside, and it can maybe cover the content we need, right? If it cannot satisfy the requirement, we should modify it. Okay, this is about the development part. And after the development is implementation. Implementation means deliver training to the trainees. And during the whole life cycle, during the whole position, which we just mentioned, we should evaluate right? Evaluate during the whole life cycle. Okay, and today what we will focus on is about the implementation of the training, and the main point is about the teaching skills. So the teaching skills means, for example, how do we maybe speak, right? The language we speak, or the voice we use, maybe the eyesight of ours, right? And maybe the blackboard writing which we show the students, and so on. Okay, and about this detailed information, we will share it later, maybe. Okay, this is what we should do as a trainer. And next is about the change of rules. Actually, this is about you can think this is just about the difference between an engineer and a trainer. On the left is the engineer's logic, and on the right is the trainer's logic. Let's say what's the difference? As an engineer, actually, he will emphasize the content. Of course, they think that maybe I just need to tell the students that which the technical, for example, the technical contents, of course, is very important. While as a trainer, we mainly focus on, or we emphasize the ideas, or you can think, for example, we emphasize the logic, right? The logic of the training. Because if you just read, for example, if you just share some contents with the students, they can listen, they can maybe understand, right, when you share with them. But without good logic, it's very difficult for them to master and to remember these things after the training. So we should design or we should have a logic of the whole training, and it can help them understand, help them remember, okay, after training. This is the first part. And next, engineers prefer to teach seriously. Of course, actually, it's very important, right? The content we want to transfer is very important, so they prefer to teach seriously. And maybe for some, even for example, me as a new trainer, and I teach or each class very seriously. Of course, I think it can make me looks maybe professional, right? But this is a very fault, or this is a wrong idea. Okay, it cannot make you looks professional. It can just maybe make the class, maybe make the trainees cannot join in the sharing, joining the class. Okay, so trainers prefers to teach lightly. Okay, and the engineers focus on teaching with no interaction. They just see what they want to see, and they will not pay attention to what the trainees want to see, or what the trainees want to ask, or what the trainees want to maybe share with or the students or the trainees. Okay, while trainers engage trainees and elect great participation. So we, as a trainer, we should maybe pay attention to each of the trainees, and if they have any ideas, you can invite them to share. If they have any questions, you can answer by yourself, or you can invite another trainee to answer it. Okay, so only in this way, it can make the class more active, makes the class more happy. Okay, and the next, engineers emphasize the rationality, while the trainers emphasize the hands-on practice. Means only by some hands-on practice can make it more possible for the trainees to remember. Okay, and especially for the technical training, right? For example, now you are today the topic for example, today the topic is the routing protocol. For example, routing protocol, maybe OSPF or static route, right? And if you spend all the time sharing the content, sharing the maybe the lecture, it cannot make them remember. But if you maybe show them how to configure it, and if you show them how to do that on a real device, so it can help a lot, right? And the next, engineers teach everything. They cannot figure, or they do not figure out which is important. While the trainers teach key points, the trainers should figure out which is important, or maybe some parts are very important, some parts are less important. And based on this, we can maybe manage the time. For example, we have a training for 1 hour, and I will spend 40 minutes or even 50 minutes on the key points, just like this. And engineers teach details to display professionalism, while trainers teach framework for ease of understanding. And here, by the way, for ease of understanding, except the teaching framework, we have some other ways. For example, we can make some maybe examples, right? Or we can maybe write down it. So we can, these methods can also make it easy for the students to understand. And except that it's about the developing of the material. Engineers think that more texts in PPT for ease of understanding, while trainers think that more images in PPT for ease of understanding. And there is a discovery find that most of the even about 70% of the information we got are from the from what we heard, okay, and maybe 20% of them are of the information we got are from what we see, okay. So more images obviously is more helpful for ease of understanding. Okay. After finishing this part, I hope you can know the difference between the engineer and the trainer. Of course, the reason why you should know that is that you should find the maybe the gauge, okay, or the gap between you and maybe at the good trainer, or what you should improve at this part. Okay. This is about what we see the definition of trainer. And the next, after we have mastered what we should do, after we have mastered what we should improve, next we're gonna introduce is adult learners. Here are the characteristics of adult learners. First point, let's see, they learn only when necessary. For example, for me, I have much work to do, right? Every day I spend maybe most of my time on work. So I have less time, even no time for maybe some extra learning. So in this kind of situation, if I learn something, means I need it. So this is the reason why we see learn only when necessary, right? Study for some practical applications. For example, assume that tomorrow there would be a POC, right? There would be a POC of POC project, but now even you have no idea about for example, the product you should install, or even you don't have any idea of the protocol you're gonna use tomorrow. So today you must spend some time on it, right? You would learn it today. So this is why we call it learn only when necessary. And next, want to take a crash course. Of course, we don't have compared with some, for example, students in the school, they have a lot of time, right? course, what they should do, or the things they should do, is just study. So they have a lot of time to spend. But for adult learners, they do not. Right? They have pressing time and have different background. The adult learners have different backgrounds and like to link what they are learning with what they have already knowing according to their experiences. I think it's very obvious. Of course, I think that, for example, even now when I'm sharing this material, for example when I say want to take a crash course as an adult learner, you are thinking about if it's correct on me, right? For example, if I have much time on learning, or for the first point, learn only when necessary, you will also think that is it correct on me? If it's correct on me, right? Do I have some maybe daily learning? Even it's not necessary. Even I don't need to use it. So it's very obvious point since we have so much experiences. So during when we learn something new, we were associated with experience. Okay, and next, like to think independently and have their own opinions. I think this is similar to point 3. Right? Of course, we have experience, so we will think by ourselves, and based on different experience, maybe we have different point of views, different opinions. Okay, and next, prefer to accept a trainer with a common touch, plenty of knowledge, and a pleasant sensation, and learn in a comfortable environment. Of course, actually, not just the adult learners. I think this is also makes sense when we face some maybe teenagers, right? But for adult learners, maybe they have even higher requirements on the maybe environment, and they have even strict requirements on the trainers, on the instructors. The last point, like to learn through practice, right? Of course, practice make them get more information, get more knowledge, and the practice can make it faster, right? There is can make there's an old saying goes. There's an old saying says that 1,000 times of saying is maybe equal to 1 times of practice. Okay, so it is more useful for us to learn something new. Okay, here are the characteristics of adult learners, and after knowing these points, I think it can help us know what we should do, right? For example, we should make the training shorter. For example, we should prepare some comfortable environments, right? We should maybe design some practice parts or design more practice parts in the training, right? Okay, so let's summarize. The clear targets, pressing time, individual personality, and eagerness to engage are the characteristics. Okay, and what we should do is to let trainees think, let them share, let them practice. Okay, I think it can help you maybe have a good understanding of your trainees. Okay, and except that, next let's see. As a trainer, what we should do is to think what the trainees think. It means that you should know what we want, right? As a trainee, what they want. For example, no matter it's before or during the class, you should ask yourself, what does a trainee want? And how can you know that? For example, you can conduct an investigation and communication through course before training to know a trainee's original knowledge level. For example, now today, in this training, before this training, I have you are required to fill in a questionnaire, and from the questionnaire, I have set some questions, right? Some questions. So from these questions, I can know you're an experienced instructor. You are an experienced instructor, and you think that maybe development materials are difficult. Right? Here are the information I have got from the questionnaire. So questionnaire is just one method I use today, and if it's convenient, you can make phone calls to the students, directly ask them these questions, okay? And provide a training agenda before teaching to ask for opinions from trainees. For example, you should have a schedule, you should have an agenda, share with your trainees, and they should find out, for example, is this contents enough? Or do they have any other further questions? Or do they have any other requirements? Right? And make eye contact in class. This is very important, especially for some new trainers. They even they are, no matter if they are shy or for some other reasons, they cannot see or they do not even dare to see the eye of the trainees. Okay, but with eye contact, we can see, for example, we can find someone is maybe following your steps, or someone is not following you, right? And except that maybe someone has a question from their eyesight, you can figure it out. Maybe now from your eyesight, I can find, okay, maybe Alex, right? For example, Alex, he's having a question. So you can ask, okay, do you have any questions? In this time, you can maybe invite him to share his questions with us. So the eye contact is also very important. Okay, and next point, perceive their immersion in initiative, for example, involvement, question asked in class, and carry out the communications after class. Okay, here are what we should do, right? What we should do, or what we can. Here are some methods what we can use to maybe get more information from your trainees. And here it says, only think what the trainee thinks. You can take appropriate steps and solve their pain points. And of course, only think what the trainees think. You can maybe satisfy their requirements. Okay, this is about the characteristics of adult learners, and a better understanding of them can help you maybe hold a more successful training.